Wrestling fans, we're here at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, the 2004 induction ceremony in Schenectady, and I am here with a legend. I'm talking about Dick the Beyer, the Destroyer. And Dick, how special is it to come here to the Hall of Fame every year?
Well, you know what? I can't wait until on the thruway I see the signs that say the attractions at this exit are the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Because when I go up by, I'm trying to think of the town where they have the Pro Boxing Hall of Fame, Canastota. On the thruway they got at this exit is the Pro Boxing Hall of Fame. So I think somewhere down the line, somebody's going to get to a New York State legislator and say, at this exit, you can visit the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and I think it's great.
You obviously, you come back every year. I see you joking around. You're talking to all your old friends. You're having a good old time. It must be good to, run into these guys every year. You probably don't see them as much as you used to. How important is that, as far as, not being involved in wrestling anymore, to see these guys?
Well, it's very important, but I myself, I've wrestled all over the country, actually all over the world. But I go to Mobile, Alabama, because I wrestled in the South, and I go to the Mobile Wrestlers Reunion. Down there, it's strictly wrestlers, promoters, or wives. You don't have any fans. Then I go out to California and Las Vegas to the Cauliflower Alley Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and that is boxers, wrestlers, any movie star who portrayed a wrestler or a boxer in a movie, and fans. So it includes all four. Here, we got wrestlers and fans. So each place is a different atmosphere, but I love talking with the boys. We traveled together, we trained together, we paid our dues together.
It's a big word, paying your dues.
Yes.
Very important in this business.
They did the same thing, absorbed the same things that I did. So it means a lot to come back and see. You hate to see a Mad Dog Vachon in a wheelchair. You hate to see a Harley Race limping all over the place. Hey, I had a shoulder replaced and a hip replaced. A year ago, I went to the Cauliflower Club in a walker. Now I'm back to where I'm ready to go again.
Cutting up the dance floor. I saw you earlier on out there.
But I'm not going to get back in the ring.
If you couldn't, besides yourself, if you couldn't vote for yourself, who would you say the greatest mass wrestler was? Again, if you couldn't vote for yourself.
I would have to say Mil Máscaras, because
Man with 1,000 Masks.
Just a week ago, somebody sent me a video from Japan about wrestling matches. And I had two videos of Máscaras and Destroyer, a video of Don Leo Jonathan, and another of The Butcher. And you know what? I watched those things. I watched Don Leo and I. Don Leo now is 6'6", 280 pounds, does flying drop kicks, flying head scissors, nip-ups, all these kind of things. Well, I tried to match him, nip-up for nip-up, drop kick for drop kick. And you know what? I'm sitting in my living room all by myself watching this video, and I says, were you that good? It was that good a match that I enjoyed watching myself. And the same thing with Mil Máscaras. The matches that he had, I had. Mil Máscaras was a tough wrestler.
You both shared. He was a big movie star in Mexico, and talking about Japan. You were a big celebrity. Aside from the wrestling, you were one of the most recognizable. I don't want to say wrestlers, but characters in Japan at one time.
Well, I was in the right place at the right time. Somebody asked me if I wanted to go on a TV show. And I said, sure. And I was working for Giant Baba and All Japan Pro Wrestling, and they were on Channel 4 in Tokyo. And I went, and I got on the TV show, and the television show all of a sudden becomes the #1 show in Japan in 73 and 74. I had my picture on the front of TV Guide. Are you kidding me? You get your picture on front of TV Guide, you're somebody.
Collectors.
I was floored. Anyway, right place at the right time.
You've always been known for having very strong legs. Is that why you made the figure 4 one of your finishing holds?
That's exactly the reason I made. I was in Hawaii in 1962. Buddy Rogers used to use the figure 4 leg lock, and he retired. And back then in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, nobody copied another wrestler's hold.
You had to come up with your own.
You come up with your own. Buddy retired, and I said, I was in Japan, or in Hawaii, and Lord Blears and gentleman Ed Francis were promoting over there. And I says, can you teach me the figure 4 leg lock? So I use it because I did have good legs. Why do I have good legs? You're born with them. Billy Red Lyons is my brother-in-law. He married my first wife's sister. I used to make believe, when I wrestled him, I make believe I threw birdseed out in the ring because he had legs that were skinny as birds. Going back to Billy Red Lyons, I wrestled him in San Antonio, Texas one night. And in San Antonio, let's see, this was 64, 65.
Before I was born.
Oh, yes. Rub it in, Jesus. That's just what I need.
I'm sorry, Mr. Beyer. I'm sorry.
I'm leaving.
Oh, no. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I'm only kidding. I'm sorry.
This guy says, I said 65, and he says, that's before he was born. Would you walk out on him?
The Destroyer's now talking to George Animal Steel right now.
George the Animal Steel right there. George, would you walk out on him?
We're at the Hall of Fame. It's all good fun. Come on.
Ask you a question.
You can ask me one, but don't make it too hard.
I'll make it short, too. Is he giving you a good interview?
Yes.
I'm better. Get out of here.
Okay.
Now let's have some stuff done here.
Okay, now.
You are the greatest masked man, and on top of that, the greatest wrestler of all time.
Let me tell you about Billy Red Lyons and I
tell me
going
about it.
into a bar in San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
Wow.
We go in. You can't get to a bar after 10 o'clock. You have to have a key to get in. The promoter gives us a key to get into this bar. So we had wrestled against each other that night. And I said, Billy, you sit at one end of the bar, I'll sit at the other.
Kayfabe.
Yeah, kayfabe. Are you kidding? A Vern Gagne special.
Absolutely.
So we sit at the end of the bar, and a big old barracuda comes in and sits down next to Billy. I mean, she was a beauty. So anyway.
How much did she weigh?
About 300, one side or the other. That's the kind Billy attracted.
I know.
So anyway, he says to her, did you go to the match? And she said, oh, yeah. I love that you kicked the hell out of that Destroyer tonight. You go, that Destroyer is this and he's that. She tore me up one side and down the other. I'm at the other end of the bar. So Billy says to her, well, why do you go to the matches? She says, he's got good wheels. He's got the best wheels of any wrestler. That means legs, George.
I know, I got it.
Oh.
I'm into it. Come on. Bring it home.
That was it. I stood up down at the other end of the bar, and I gave her the shot going down. And she says, who's that? Of course, I didn't have the mask on. So anyway, now you got the mic. What are you going to ask me?
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
When you finally got into wrestling, after Syracuse and a wonderful football career there also, and you become a professional wrestler, you had children. I met your children.
Yeah.
They've all been very confused about one thing. They've asked me a lot of questions. They've been afraid to ask you. But here's what happened. You went out looking for a job because things were a little tough. And you come back and you had a mask. And then you went out to work with a mask on every night, and you come back with a lot of money. Your kids wanted to know, were you robbing banks or what were you doing?
Well, that's what my second wife asked when she went to the matches with me in Niagara Falls. I picked her up. I had a friend of mine go to the matches with me. We pulled up behind the arena. She didn't know I wrestled with a hood on, so I put a mask on. And there was a bank across the street from the arena, and I said, this is a true story. She says, what are you going to do with that mask on? I says, I wrestle with.
I got to tell you a story on that because I heard about that too. I heard about your second wife. He had two masks and he put one on her too.
Not really.
I love you.
She's too good looking. Nice to see you.
But do you understand why he wears a mask now? Here, do your job. Get over here and do your job now.
Just try to thank you for joining us.
Let me ask you a question. What kind of an interview did George do?
I thought he did a great job.
Good. Good thing you said that, because look what he's ready to do.
Yeah, he's ready to knock my teeth out. But
Nice to
Destroyer,
see you.
thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Saw you last year. Thank you.
Remember the wheels.
The wheels, baby. The wheels.